Welcome to the dark side of Marvel, where nightmares come to life and heroes face their most terrifying foes. We're talking about alternate universes so messed up, so fundamentally wrong, that even Thanos would take a step back and say, all right, you know what, maybe this is a bit much, even for me. We're diving deep into the darkest corners of the Marvel universe, where heroes are driven mad, villains become gods, and hope goes to die. So buckle up, true believers, because these are the top 10 most terrifying Marvel universes. Alright, first up, we've got a universe that's basically every zombie movie ever. But with capes and superpowers, it's the Marvel Zombies universe. And let me tell you, this ain't no happy singing zombie Pixar movie. We're talking about a world where the Avengers, the X-Men, even freaking Galactus are all infected with a cosmic space virus that turns them into ravenous, flesh-eating monsters. Imagine Captain America, but instead of punching Nazis, he's gnawing on their brains. Or Spider-Man swinging through the city, but instead of quips, he's got this insatiable hunger for human flesh. Yeah, it's bleak. And the worst part, these zombies still have all their powers. So you've got a super strong Hulk who wants to eat your face, an Iron Man who can shoot repulsor beams from his eyes, and a Thor who can summon lightning but only uses it to cook up some human shish kebabs. It's a whole buffet of horrifying. You can't escape it. So you know how some people say, oh, reading a book can be dangerous? Well, they're usually talking about paper cuts. But in the Marvel universe, there's a book that's actually dangerous, like End of the World dangerous, and it's called The Darkhold. This ancient grimoire is full of dark magic and forbidden knowledge, stuff so evil, so mind-bendingly terrifying that just reading a few pages can drive you completely bonkers. We're talking full-on cackling madness, summoning demons into your living room kind of bonkers. And it's not just the reading that's dangerous. The Darkhold has this nasty habit of corrupting anyone who even touches it. Heroes become villains, villains become even worse villains, and everyone's just one bad day away from unleashing unspeakable horrors upon the world. It's like the One Ring, but instead of turning you invisible, it turns you into a gibbering, power-hungry maniac. And trust me, you don't want to see what happens when someone actually manages to decipher all its secrets. Spoiler alert, it ain't pretty. Okay, let's switch gears for a second and talk about fear. Real, primal fear. The kind that makes your heart race, your palms sweat, and makes you want to sleep with the lights on. That's the kind of fear that the Man-Thing embodies. He's not your typical Marvel villain. He's not trying to take over the world or destroy the universe. In fact, he doesn't really do much of anything. He just kind of hangs out in his swamp, being all creepy and mysterious. But here's the thing. The Man-Thing is a walking, talking embodiment of fear itself. And if you're unlucky enough to cross his path, he'll sense your fear and, well, it won't be pretty. See, the Man-Thing doesn't judge. He doesn't care if you're a hero or a villain, a good guy or a bad guy. All he cares about is the fear you carry inside you. And if you've got enough of it, he'll burn you with it, literally. He's like a walking, talking panic attack, and there's no reasoning with him, no bargaining with him. He's just a force of nature, and one that you really don't want to mess with. You know how some people say, revenge is a dish best served cold? Well, Ghost Rider says, screw that, I'm serving this dish with a side of hellfire. He's the ultimate anti-hero, a spirit of vengeance who rides a flaming motorcycle and punishes the wicked with his penance stare. And trust me, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that stare. It's like looking into the eyes of your worst nightmares, all your sins and regrets flashing before your very soul. And the worst part, you feel the pain of everyone you've ever wronged amplified 1,000-fold. Ghost Rider is a terrifying force of nature, but he's also a symbol of hope. He shows us that even in the darkest of times, there's always someone willing to fight for justice, even if it means making a deal with the devil himself. If Venom gives you the creeps, then Carnage is going to give you full-blown nightmares. He's like Venom's even more twisted and psychotic cousin, with a thirst for blood that knows no bounds. We're talking about a symbiote that's bonded with a serial killer, Cletus Kasady, and together they're a force of pure chaos and destruction. Carnage doesn't just want to conquer the world or rule the universe, he wants to watch it burn. He's got all the powers of Spider-Man, but amplified to 11, plus some extra goodies like shape-shifting, tendrils that can cut through steel, and this creepy ability to make his victims relive their worst nightmares. He's basically the embodiment of every horror movie villain you've ever seen, all rolled into one terrifying package. You know what they say about good intentions? Yeah, well, sometimes they pave the road to becoming a blood-sucking vampire. Just ask Morbius, the living vampire. He started out as a brilliant scientist trying to cure himself of a rare blood disease, but as is often the case in these stories, something went horribly wrong, and now he's cursed with an insatiable thirst for blood. He's got all the classic vampire powers: superhuman strength, speed, senses, and the ability to turn into a bat. But unlike your typical Dracula-type vampire, Morbius is tormented by his condition. He hates what he's become, and he's constantly battling his inner demons. He's a tragic figure, caught between his humanity and his monstrous urges. And that's what makes him so terrifying, because deep down we all have that dark side within us, and Morbius shows us what happens when we lose control of it. So, you thought your uncle's basement was bad? Well, try spending an eternity in Mephisto's realm. It's basically what would happen if a Las Vegas casino and a medieval torture chamber had a baby, and that baby was raised by Satan himself. We're talking fire, brimstone, lakes of lava, and more demons than you can shake a holy water balloon at. And at the center of it all is Mephisto, the Lord of Lies, the King of Hellfire, the guy who makes even the devil say, "Dude, chill." He's got a thing for making deals with mortals, offering them their heart's desire in exchange for their immortal souls. But as anyone who's ever seen a horror movie knows, deals with the devil rarely end well. He's a master manipulator, a deceiver, and a sadist who takes pleasure in tormenting the souls trapped in his realm. He's basically the ultimate cosmic troll, and his realm is the ultimate cosmic punishment. You know how some people are afraid of the dark? Well, the Midnight Suns are the ones who fight back the things that make the dark so scary. They're Marvel's premier supernatural superhero team, and they deal with all the creepy crawlies that go bump in the night. We're talking vampires, werewolves, demons, ghosts, zombies, you name it, they've punched it in the face. They're like the Ghostbusters, but instead of proton packs, they've got magic swords and a whole lot of holy water. The team is made up of some of Marvel's most powerful magic users and supernatural beings, including Blade, the vampire hunter, Ghost Rider, the Spirit of Vengeance, and Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. And let's be honest, when you need someone to fight a demon horde or exorcise an ancient evil, you call the guys with the magic swords and the flaming skulls. Speaking of creepy crawlies, let's talk about the Brood. They're basically what would happen if you took all the worst parts of cockroaches, wasps, and xenomorphs and combined them into one horrifying alien race. They're parasitic, which means they lay their eggs inside other living beings. And when those eggs hatch, well, let's just say it's not pretty. The host body is transformed into a grotesque, monstrous version of its former self with razor-sharp claws, acidic blood, and a nasty habit of obeying the Brood Queen's every command. They're relentless, they're ruthless, and they're always hungry for new hosts. And the worst part, they can infect anyone, even superheroes. So, imagine your favorite hero, but with chitinous skin, mandibles, and an insatiable hunger for human flesh. Last but not least, we have Nightmare, the ruler of the dream dimension. And trust me, this guy is the stuff of nightmares. Literally, he's a powerful demon who feeds off the fear and despair of dreaming minds. And his realm is a twisted, surreal reflection of our deepest fears and insecurities. Think Freddy Krueger, but with more tentacles and a penchant for psychological torture. He can trap you in your dreams, turning your deepest fears against you. He can control your every thought and emotion, driving you mad with terror. And there's no escape, not while you're asleep. He's the embodiment of our darkest fears, the monster lurking in the shadows of our subconscious. And the worst part, he's always watching, always waiting for his next victim. So there you have it, folks. These are the most horrifying corners of the Marvel Universe. Which one sends chills down your spine? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more spine-tingling content. Seriously though, sleep well tonight. Just try not to think about the Marvel zombies or the Darkhold or the Man-Thing or Ghost Rider or Carnage or Morbius or Mephisto or the Midnight Suns or the Brood or Nightmare.